Hey, my name is Sammy Beam. I live in Hollywood, California. Oh, look, it's like mouse ears. I am a decorative artist and a muralist and a scenic artist and just like lots and lots of creative skills in my, what do they call it, wheelhouse? I don't know why they call it that. But it reminds me of back home, distilleries, the wheelhouse, the rick house, barrels, barrel lids. I come from whiskey country. I come from whiskey people. I come from bourbon people. And do I drink bourbon? No, I do not drink bourbon. I do not partake of alcohol. Alcohol and I had a good time. But when it was over, it was just over. So anyway, so this is Tuesday. I'm here in my bedroom in Hollywood. I'm going to show you something, and then I'm going to see if I can still... I've got these... Okay, when I left Kentucky, I had all four of these pieces in Kentucky, and this is a really good... The top one is a really good print in a really good frame, and then these are actual oil paintings, but... they're rather low quality, and I was told that they came from Japan, but they are Victorian actually in feeling and also in their, their history. They come from like, I don't know, 1896 or something. But here's what I love about them, and I'm hoping that you can see it. I hope I'm doing this. I don't want to make you sick. I'm going to do this. I want you to see it. Okay. Okay, so can you see that each picture has a boat with a sail? Let me see. Come on. Can you see the boat? There's a boat with a sail sticking up like a little triangle. And the reason that I love them is because they look more like giant sharks' fins than boats. The pictures look like, oh, they're kind of like that, what is it called? Calamity Ware, something like that. You look at the picture and you think, oh, how peaceful. Oh, giant sharks. Funny. Okay, so I was told to tell a story about my career. So I told you about getting a good job, and now I'm going to tell you as quickly as possible what it was like the first time I went to New York alone. I had been with this company for about a year and a half, and they said, "Good news to you. You get to go to the visual display market." And it was like in June every year, and that's Christmas market. And so you get to go to it. You need to you can go. You can get ideas, and you can get ideas for what we need to buy for your Christmas decor, because we're going to start adding to that because the old stuff is old and it got all worn. Anyway, whatever. I was like that. So I knew I was going to get like Christmas stuff. Anyway, that titillated me. But they said, here's the deal. You will you'll fly out on this day. They provided you with everything back then. This was like never like, they just said, you're going to get this ticket and you're going to go to the airport and you're going to go on this day. And it always seemed to be on a Sunday, which was cool. But then when you get there, since you've never been there, you catch a cab into Manhattan from LaGuardia, and you catch a cab to 37th and Lexington in Manhattan, and that was the Shelbourne Hotel at the time, and our company reserved a suite there because we had a lot of employees going to New York, and it was a lovely suite. And it made sense because at the time, all of our buyers were younger and really fun and down to earth. None of them were like bitchy or what you would think buyers would be. No, they were all fun, and then we were all kind of around the same age, honestly. And when they would go, there might be four of them. They'd find a way for all four of them to fit into that room because that was the agreement. Like, I don't think they always did that, but at least two of them would stay there. But I was there alone. So there you go. And then so I'm there, and then I had this older, the one buyer who was not what I would consider young, although she was probably only like 36 at the time, but she called me in to give me some advice, and it was really kind of like, icky. It's kind of, she went, look, I know you're going, I just want you to know, I'm on your side. I just want to give you some advice. You're going to New York for the first time. I know that you're going to be tempted to try and make a fashion statement, but please don't, because in Manhattan, you're going to be running into people who make real fashion statements, and yours will just look kind of silly. So here's what I think you should do. You should make sure that you have very conservative clothing while you're there. And you should, if you don't have a proper suit, I think even if just get a suit and just wear it every day. You're only there for 4 days. What, 4 days? And I was like, well, nah, okay. And I went and bought a damn green, ugly, conservative green suit. And it took almost all my per diem to buy it. So when I went to New York, to the Shelburne at 37th and Lexington in Murray Hill, I had in my suitcase a big jar of peanut butter and 3 or 4 cans of tuna fish and a can opener. And the suite had a little kitchenette. I did not eat out one time while I was in Manhattan because I didn't have any money. It was just like, so I would go and fulfill and go and shop and look and everything. And so the first night I came back to the first, that was Sunday. Okay, Monday was a big day, but after work on Monday, I said, I'm going to walk in Central Park. So I put on my play clothes, which were perfectly normal in Lexington, Kentucky, and went out to Central Park. And everywhere I went, people were snickering at me and pointing at me. And then finally somebody said, nice socks, Rube. And I was like, what? And, fashion had changed in Manhattan. It hadn't quite changed in Lexington, Kentucky. So all of the people walking around the park now from New York and areas that were more enlightened, they were wearing like plaid or check Bermuda shorts and little ankle socks that were pushed way down. And my look was like a t-shirt, a cheap t-shirt, but I had those, remember those jogging shorts that were just elastic, but they were piped, usually in white. They were navy with white, and then I had coordinating athletic socks with a coordinating navy stripe around them, and they came up to my knees. And I was out cooling it in Central Park, and people were making fun of me. Anyway, I have to tell you that there's always been a little angel on my shoulder. I have uncomfortable moments, but there's always been, I think God sends me little signs that I might be a freak, but I'm okay. Because I tell you what, the day I was supposed to leave for New York, leave New York for Lexington, I did not go to the Jacob Javits Center because I was supposed to be, they said, don't go do anything on that day. Don't really do much on that day because you got to get back to the airport and you got to get out of town. So my plane left LaGuardia at 5:45. And I was in my hotel room watching a rerun of Rhoda on the TV, eating peanut butter. And I thought, and it was, I looked at the clock and it was like 3:15. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go down and take in New York one more time. I'm just going to go down and walk around the block and just take it all in and make some memories today. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, like 3:30. And my flight's leaving LaGuardia in 2 hours. I just go down, la, 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 la. And I exit the hotel, and immediately I'm struck by an image coming toward me. She looks familiar. She's so glamorous. She's like, she was actually to that day the most glamorous person that I knew. But I see this character. She's tallish. She's beautiful. She has blonde hair and sunglasses, very glamorous. She has a huge garment bag over one shoulder, and she's pulling another one on rollers like it's got a human body in it, and she's out of breath. And when she gets about, 12 feet in front of me, she lifts her glasses and goes, Stammy Beam. And it was my friend Joanne, who had been my teacher at that little school I told you about. And then she had left the school when she went to the Stewart's department store, and she was the fashion director. at Stewart's department store, and she was my friend, and here she was on the street, and I was like, oh my God. And she said, please tell me that this is your hotel. And I said, yeah. And she said, I have to get to the airport. I made a big mistake. Instead of staying in a hotel, I stayed with my sister this time just to save a few bucks. And wouldn't you know it, it's rush hour, and I don't have a doorman to get me a cab. And I said, is that, and she said, what time is your flight? I said, 5:45. She said, honey, I'm on the same flight. Listen, we got to go. Go get your bags. I'm going to talk to your doorman. And when I got my bags and came out and got in the car, we headed directly to the airport. And she said, oh, and by the way, this is all on me because I don't know. And you know what? In my ignorance, I had one $20 bill held back thinking, well, I mean, it was like 1984, but I was thinking, $20, that should be plenty to get me back to LaGuardia. Now, I had come in on a share of tech cab, so I didn't really know how much I spent coming in because I'd shared a cab, but anyway. This woman's absolutely saved my life, and we got to the airport, and she says, oh, now we can let's just go get a little drink in the bar. And it was just lovely. It was just like, but I felt like God had put us together there. I mean, he didn't change things to put us together, but I think sometimes if he sees things kind of working in your favor, he might go, yeah, I'm going to let it happen. It happened because, honey, I would have been I wouldn't have been able to afford my cab fare to the airport, and I would have still been in New York, but my room would have been gone. I would have been calling like my employer going, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, and I ain't got no money, I ain't got no place to go. What am I going to do? Help me, help me. Anyway, that was my little tale of woe about like my early career in visual merchandising and fashion illustration in Lexington, Kentucky. And I will tell you more on another day. Right now, I'm feeling a little nauseated because I have this little disorder. I don't know. I have to ask the doctor about it. When I have to sneeze, it feels like I have to upchuck. And it's very real nausea. So I'm going to go try to sneeze. And y'all have a good day. Bye.